I need you guys who are returning subscribers to pretend like you don't consistently see me in this UT sweatshirt. Just pretend like you don't. Hi, hello, it's 𝚗𝚐𝚎, and today we're going to be doing a video on how to manage creating a consistent journal routine. So for me, as far as journal routines go, I have never stuck to any single journal routine, and that's genuinely just because my life changes so much and life changes so much. Sometimes what I'm capable of today isn't what I'll be capable of tomorrow or the next day, and something that worked 2 years ago may not work in my life right now. So, 9 times out of 10, when I talk about journal routines, mine is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing, and I'm adding things, removing things, trying new things out, trying new supplies, trying new times I'm doing it. So, before we go into this video, I just wanted to start off by saying that your journal routine will absolutely change over time with you, and that's totally fine. So, let's get into it. So first things first, let's talk about why routines tend to fail, especially when you're trying out a journal routine. And in my opinion, what ends up happening happens to a lot of people where you start really, really strong. Like you start a journal routine that feels so good that you're so confident about. And at the beginning, you're very, very hype about it. You're journaling consistently, you're doing it every day, you may be doing it 2 times a day, 3 times a day. And then because you went so hard in the beginning, you might find yourself slowly falling off to the point where eventually you're not doing it at all. And what tends to happen with that is we feel guilty about letting it fall off, and then we feel guilty about letting it fall off completely. Because sometimes you can let something fall off and then come back to it. But a lot of times, what ends up happening is that we fall off completely or cold turkey and we don't come back to it. Or we come back to it far later down the road and we restart the process all over again. Because realistically, our lives change, our energy changes. We fluctuate energy day to day. Like right now, I'm in the mood to film back to back to back, when in the last, I want to say 2 weeks, I might have filmed a video because I just have not been in the mood to film a single thing, even though I should. And I enjoy doing it. I enjoy filming videos. I enjoy the editing process. But there are still some times where I just am not in the mood for it. Because for me, journaling is about documentation. It's not about perfect consistency. If perfect consistency for me is, twice a week, then it's twice a week. If it's every day, then it's every day. If it's every other day, then it's every other day. Because a successful routine will bend and fluctuate with you. If your routine is successful, then you'll be able to maybe pull back on some things, add something here and there. If you have more time in your new position at 3 p.m., then that means now you're journaling at 3 p.m. Now you're journaling at 12. Now you're journaling at 2. I don't know. All of it is about making sure your routine fits organically and naturally into your day-to-day life, because if it does not, then chances are you won't consistently do it. Take a shot every time I say that word, and you will fall off. So next up, we're going to define consistency, because I do think sometimes we have a very incorrect understanding of consistency. I think people sometimes think of consistency as every single day or like 80 times in a week. You know what I mean? Like, people tend to think that if you're not doing something over and over and over an obscene amount, then you obviously don't love it. You can absolutely love something and not have the ability to do it as much as you want. That does not mean that you don't like it. I love tennis, but I have tremors in my hand, so I'm incapable of playing tennis. That does not mean I don't still love tennis and I don't still enjoy it. I just have to kind of work around this tremor. So when I go out to the tennis courts, I may play my siblings and my dad in intervals. I may take 10 minutes out, and then when I feel my hand shaking and numbing, I'll go sit out for another 30 minutes, let them play, and then I'll come back. All consistency is doing something the same way over a period of time. If you play basketball with your friends every other week, it doesn't matter the day, but every other week, you guys all get together, go to your local basketball hoop, and you go and you play basketball. That is consistent. Even if you're doing it once a month, that is consistent because you guys are doing it the same exact thing every month. If your book club can only meet in person every 2 months, that is consistent. Every 2 months, you guys all meet together to discuss this book in person. Some people journal when they're stressed and when they're stressed only. They use journaling to release some pent up stress. Other people have specific days that they journal. They'll journal every Sunday, every Tuesday, or maybe they'll journal Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And other people journal every morning. Some people journal every night. I am a night journaler. I don't know what it is, but my favorite time to do anything is at night. I'm just a night owl. And that doesn't mean that any or all of those things are in the incorrect way to have a routine. A routine works for you and it does not need to work for anybody else. I know I've said that in other videos, but I will stand by it. A routine does not need to work for other people. Other people do not have to understand your routine for it to work for you. Okay, now we're actually going to start building a routine. So something I think that is very important when you're building a journal routine, or really any routine when it comes to hobbies, is to ask yourself a couple of questions. And two questions that I always ask myself are these. Number one, when do I typically have downtime or slow time? And number two, when do I feel myself picking up my phone? I hate to admit it, but I am a doom scroller and I am a disgustingly absurd doom scroller. Back in high school, all my friends had this joke that every so often Troy just deletes social media. And I still do this. I don't delete social media anymore. I just take the apps off my phone and only have them on my iPad, which tremendously stops it because my iPad is freaking huge and I'm not going to be picking it up all day. So, that being said, because I am an absurdly over the top doom scroller, I have removed all those apps from my phone because typically I only doom scroll when I'm bored. And I'm not necessarily saying anything's wrong with social media or being on social media. I love social media, I'm on it all the time. But I have found that when it comes to me, I get bored, and instead of picking up my journal, instead of reading, instead of, I don't know, watching a TV show, I always go to my phone and then I will scroll on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube for hours and hours and hours. And not really YouTube. I don't really scroll on YouTube very often because I watch very long form content on YouTube. However, everything else, TikTok will have me watching videos for 3 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been in bed and I have not done anything today. My room is a mess. My dog needs a bath. My someone needs something. When I am feeling like I'm going to pick up my phone or on the off chance pick up my iPad to go on Threads or something, and Threads is another one that will have me on there way too long, I'm remind myself, you know what? Get up, go read a book, go journal, go do something. And then the other question being, when do I naturally have downtime? So because I am always home, I can kind of understand where I have downtime and where I don't because I'm always home. But you need to ask yourself, if you work, if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, if you have responsibilities, when are times that you consistently have an opening to journal? So maybe you have time to journal early in the morning when you have your coffee. Maybe you're able to journal at night when all your kids go down. Maybe you're able to journal on your lunch break when you're, I don't know, at McDonald's or some local place getting a bite to eat. But when you add journaling into things that you automatically always do, you tend to be more inclined to do it. So if you know for a fact something you never miss, you always go get that bagel from that bagel shop near your office. While you're waiting for that bagel, jot something down. You don't need to have some long drawn out entry. You can jot a few things down in your notebook, in your planner, in your phone, whatever the case may be. For example, one time I know that I always have downtime is early in the morning because nobody's awake in my house. All my biological roommates are knocked out. Nobody is waking up at 5:30 in the morning like I am for no reason at all except that my body hates me. So I always know that I can get some journaling in at 5:30 to 6 before my dog starts saying, "Okay, let's keep it pushing. You gotta take me to the bathroom." She'll give me 30 minutes and then she's like, "All right, bro, where's my walk?" The next thing I think you should do is pick a reason to journal. Now, your reason doesn't have to be deep or anything. I always say this. You can have a really, really deep reason to journal, or you can have a very, very mundane reason to journal. Your reason for journal can literally just be, I want to journal. I like it. I enjoy it. Or maybe it is deep. Maybe you want to process your emotions better. Maybe you want to document like me. Like I like to document my life. I like to document the good, the bad, the ugly, the mundane, whatever the case may be. I want to document it. So, that being said, what is a reason that you want to journal? I think having a reason for journaling really helps because you can constantly remind yourself that this is why you love it. This is why you want to make it a habit and make it a routine. And when you remind yourself of that, I feel like it makes building a routine a little bit easier. I remind myself all the time, if I don't document it, I will forget it because, again, memory of a goldfish. Y'all know this, memory of a goldfish. I will forget everything in a hot second. So pick a reason that you want to journal. Now, I feel like this one will really help you when you're building a system and a routine because sometimes having the big journal or having a small journal, having a physical journal at all can make things a little complicated. If you know for a fact that the only time you have any slow time, any downtime is when you're at the grocery store and you're going through your list of stuff you need to get, then you may not want a giant A5 or higher notebook. You may want a little notepad, you may want to open your notes app and write a list or write a page in your notes app or GoodNote or whatever app you have. Sometimes when I don't have my EDC with me, I will just have a little mini like sticky notepad somewhere in my purse. I don't know why, I just always have them. And I'll just jot some things down because I don't feel like bringing my EDC, which is a B6, and I also don't feel like bringing my other one, which is an A5, because they're both huge. And I just don't have time for that sometimes. Sometimes I want to bring a satchel that is about this big, and I do not want to have to bring a giant purse everywhere. So, for those reasons, sometimes I will use my notes app. I'm not big on digital journaling anymore, but that is something you can try. But choose a format that fits just as organically as the habit stacking does. Okay, the next one I have is more of a when you're in a rush tip, I guess. And that is to have a go to prompt when you are in a bit of a rush. I have a few go to prompts. Like sometimes I'll ask myself, what went wrong yesterday or what did I love about yesterday? It's easy for me to just kind of write down really quick. And I can also write down what did not work yesterday. Like maybe yesterday I was supposed to film a video. And instead of filming a video, I got way too in to watching Love in the Clouds. Then I will remind myself we do not binge watch shows Monday through Friday. Binge watching is only a late Friday into Sunday rule. Period. I don't do that. I try not to binge. Now, I will watch an updated drama if it updates weekly, but no binging. So that might be the entry I write. Yesterday didn't work out because I was too busy binging when I should not have been binging. I should not have done this. I should not have done that. I should have done this. I should have done that. And you can find prompts anywhere. I did put in our community tab on here a link to my Pinterest filled with prompts. Some prompts I feel like work every single day of your life. It does not matter where you are, what you're doing, or who you're with. The prompts work, and this is something that you can easily just answer. Once you've done it consistently, it kind of feels like second nature. Sometimes when I open my notebooks and I know I don't really have that much time, the first thing that comes to my mind is to write down that question. Okay, the next one is to expect gaps in your routine. There will be days you just don't want to do it. It's totally fine. Are there people that journal every single day? Absolutely. And they have no issues doing that? Absolutely. But if you're just getting into journaling and you're trying to maintain a practice in it, there might be days where you just don't want to do it. You might have a journal entry one day that says December 12th, 2025, and the next one may say February 12th, 2026. That is totally fine. There is no rule that says there can't be gaps in the dates. That, listen, where is my diary? I have pages that I did not finish and that I moved on from. I did not go back and finish them because who says there can't be a gap? The only reason there is a tea bag right there is because I never finished the entry and I was too lazy to go back and finish it, so I did not. And I'll probably pick back up, or I'll just go to the next page if I want to because it's mine and there are no rules. If you realize something is not working in your routine or in your system, you are allowed to change it. I know a lot of people criticize journal hopping, planner hopping, etc. I've never understood that because I just feel like if it's not working, it's not working, and you are absolutely allowed to try something new, to try a new version of your routine or your system. It's literally no rules in journaling. Whether it's the format, whether the format is a physical A5 or it's a pocket. Maybe it's not working. Maybe you need something bigger. Maybe you need something smaller. Whether it's the place, like maybe you can't get anything sufficiently done where you are. Sometimes I'll try to journal in my bed, and that is a mistake because the only thing that my brain acknowledges my bed is for is reading, binging, and sleeping. So if I'm not doing one of those three things, my brain is like, girl, you know you're not about to journal anything. Maybe it's a time of day. Like I said earlier, I am a night journaler. I want to journal at night. And typically when I journal in the morning, the only reason I'm able to do that is because the sun is not up. When that sun is up, I don't know what my brain says, but my brain tells me it's not journal time. It's time to do anything else but that. It's time to read. It's time to watch movies and TV shows. Any other hobby but journaling. I have no idea why. That's just how my brain works. And that is when it's best for me. And I haven't always been like that. I used to be able to journal all throughout the day. If I journaled in the morning, I would journal in the morning. Sometimes it'd be midday. Sometimes it'd be at the highest point of the day. Sometimes it'd be super late at night or at 4 a.m. These days, I'm not like that. I have to be in a good mood or recording a video to journal when the sun is out. I don't know why. It's just how I am. A good and successful routine meets you wherever you are. I technically just personified journaling, but whatever. My point stands. If you are in a place where your journal routine needs to evolve, let it evolve. It's totally fine. I feel like mine evolves every 2 months. Every 2 months, I'm like, this ain't working, trying something else. This time isn't working, trying something else. I'm putting this journal off for a little bit, trying something else. I do that because who gonna check me? Who? Okay, and the last tip I have for starting a journal routine is to have multiple journal routines in one system. What I mean by that is have a journal routine for days that are slow, for days that are super busy, for days that you have off, for days that you don't have any time for anything but to do your work, put your kids down, and go to sleep. Have a routine for all those days. This may sound like a lot, and if your life is a little too hectic, then I would say don't have more than 3 or 4 versions of this. Like, I have 2 separate journal routines, 3 technically, but we'll say 2. The first one is you are idealistic and you really think that you're going to do this every day. The second one is the normal, like, this is who I am typically. This is what my journal routine looks like normal time, where I'm not being idealistic and I'm not trying to do the most. And then number 3, which doesn't happen that often, is the you don't actually want to journal routine. And I call it that because it's not that I don't want to journal. It's that because my brain is like constantly all over the place and I can't sit still most days. I have a version of my journal routine that are 4 days I don't want to do anything. There are so many days that in the week where I get to a point where I don't want to even move. I just want to like bed rot, which happens way too often. So I have a routine for those days as well. And that routine is literally just I journaled a few sentences. That's it. But oddly enough, having a journal routine that are 4 days where I know for a fact I'm not going to do anything has helped tremendously. So those are my 3 versions. It's kind of like when you're playing a video game and there's an easy mode, a medium mode, and then a hard mode. Those are my 3. It's easy mode, medium, and then hard. The hard one rarely happens, but it is what it is. But that way you can kind of shuffle between those days. Some days I am kind of idealistic and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to journal in every one of my journals of my ecosystem today. I'm going to be a real worker today. I'm going to use my media journal, my reading journal, my EDC, my creative journal. All of them are going to be used today. Doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it does. But typically I shuffle between easy and medium mode. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my advice on starting a journal habit or a journal routine. I know a lot of these are recycled tips from other videos, but I stand by all of them. So there's that. Honestly, I think what it comes down to when it comes to a routine is you setting everything up completely and organically with your life. And if it fits your life, then it's a routine. If you're doing it, to me, it's a routine. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it twice a week. You don't have to do it 3 times a week or every other week. It's whatever a routine looks like for you, whatever consistency looks like for you. And that's about it. So that's it for me. And until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts. 'Cause I really hate you. 'Cause you made me so blue.